Hello friends, this is Cold Run. Welcome back to a blind playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail expansion, where we're here in Hhetso-friendly, where we're going to continue with the 7.1 MSQ with Among the Abandoned. Kryl is eager to begin searching the research facility. I don't know if you could hear Pierre Pigeon in the background sometimes when I speak, but he is, I've spent a lot of the morning hanging with him. He is not happy with the amount of time still. While we've discerned the purpose of the research conducted here, the traces of that remain might afford us greater insight into what came of it. Let's look around for info as well as a way to get to the upper level. I really like when they let you re-explore a dungeon or raid or something like that, like by running back through it after you've cleared it already. Again, Gulool Ja, you should not be alone for this. What happened to the people here? Did they leave already, or did we already meet them? I think we've met most of them and re-killed them. I don't know if they were murdered or if they were dead, or if they were undead, or if they were just like infected or messed with. They volunteered their souls for this experiment. Success was far from guaranteed, even in the best case. They would cease to be men. Was their devotion to Gulool Ja so absolute? That's a good question. I don't know if it was a personality thing. I mean, they certainly liked him. I don't know if they would give all that much to him. I like the employer I work for. I don't know that I would give my soul for it. A lift can be seen behind the wrought iron gate. Sturdy as it appears, the gate will likely resist attempts to force it open. A security panel is nearby. Perhaps a verification key will open the way? Nearby? How nearby is nearby? Oh, verification key. Like, I have to find the key. Yeah, it's in one of these. Ooh, you look like a mangled corpse. I was thinking for a second, because this puts me in such a journalized next to the body. This puts me in such a Resident Evil mode that I was thinking like I would have to do one of those like key puzzles things like that Resident Evil loves to do, where you have to connect the circuits or something like that, but no. All right, Researcher's Journal. I was transferred to Hhetso-friendly Station in order to train the villagers in the use of electrope technology. While a child quickly can learn to operate common contraptions, it will be no easy thing for them to obtain the requisite skill to develop new weapons. Ones which require no less than the manipulation of souls. Thankfully, two of my pupils have demonstrated great aptitude in the field. Kanaloka, the village chief, and Teeshal Ja, a field chirurgeon. Further driven by their loyalty to our king, their growth has been remarkable. I dare to hope that, and I was being a bit facetious with the whole I wouldn't give my soul to an employer. There are plenty of people who give their soul to a nation or to a king or ruler. They will be able to carry out their duties without further instruction, and I may be relieved of my duty. Yeah, they were certainly recognized as having that loyalty by an outside party. The key question for me coming into today's session is, what's the deal with Teeshal Ja? That's a good job, Graha. Good connection. I wonder what Beck Lug would make of this research into transferring souls. Yeah, Beck Lug would be a great voice to get in on this. I mean, that's their specialty. The researchers likely moved between the upper and lower levels. Perhaps we can find a key among their belongings. And Wook? Makes me angry to think what they did here. Understandably so. Test subject's journal. Test subject. There we go. They're recruiting volunteers for a new experiment. I know I'm not as bright as the others, but they wouldn't laugh at me if I knew if I was stronger than them. If I were stronger than them, this might be my chance. Soul transferred a few days ago. I can write. Can write good? Yes, I am good. Very good. Getting hard to control strength. Today bit off hand of Peter. Cannot help it, so strong. Hungry, always hungry. Cannot, again, the Resident Evil vibes are off the charts here. Cannot control eat. I must eat, and eater must eat. You find nothing that resembles a verification key. You find everything that resembles nightmares. Open cabinet. Yes, I want to open the cabinet. Supplies for the staff are neatly arranged within the cabinet. Among the various items is a manual outlining regulations and tranquilizing gas to be used in emergencies, and a verification key. The key works. It seems the key can be used to operate the lift as well. Up we go. So this is the observatory. The observatory. I didn't expect it to be similar, but this is a far cry from the temple that held Vala Garmanda. Yeah, it is. This is more like one of the near places. Like the puppet's bunker. All the machinery appears to still be in operation. I expect there are auxiliary systems in place to ensure that monitoring can continue even in emergencies. The warnings likely indicate various anomalies related to the seal's failure, most likely. For a blessing, we managed to fell the beast before it could cause harm. Right then, let's see if we can find some clues about Gulool Ja's mother. Look at his big cute head. I think we can use this terminal. Shale taught me how. That's right, you got that Shale knowledge. Can your little T-Rex arms reach that far? I guess they can. There's so much data, I don't know what we should look at. Perhaps we can narrow down the search by inputting the name Teeshal Ja. Type. It brought up a lot of results. They all seem to say the same thing. Teeshal Ja, Administrator of Experimental Treatments, Research Logs. That sounds good, doesn't it? Chances are the data's encrypted, and even if not, it will take considerable time to go through it all. And let's take it with us to the back room and have Shale analyze it. It's a lot of work. Let's have Shale do it. And I agree with it in this case, because, like, Shale has, like... Shale is familiar with Microsoft Excel. Shale knows what she's looking for. Alright, I'll transfer it to this storage device I brought. There, it's finished. Thank you so much for bringing me all the way here, everyone. But welcome to the next 5 years of therapy you'll need. If you're happy, then so am I. Besides, I was able to learn more about my brother as well. It was a fruitful adventure for the both of us. His animation, I always say this, his animations are so dang cute. It's intentional, it's very intentional, and it's very well done. Here we are. The authorities will doubtless wish to be informed about the facility and its contents. But first things first, let us deliver the data to Shale. Welcome back. Gulool Ja has already given me the storage device. There looks to be a wealth of data, all of which is encrypted, so I'll need time to process everything. In that case, Alizé and I might take ourselves around the city and check on the people. Aye, their mood has us a bit worried. I don't know if there's anything we can do to help, but we'll see. Understood. I'll let you know as soon as I've finished my work. Thank you, Shale. So is the next one geode, right? Guidance of the Hhetso. Geode's concern is writ plain upon his face. I wasn't sure if we were going to go help out around the town, but no. Alizé isn't wrong. The mood out here is still grim. Out there is still grim. Some of the Tirali remember a time before they were dependent on the Sol system, but even they are unsettled and wondering aloud if they'll have the chance to reunite with old friends and family before they pass on. With good reason, too. The journey home won't be an easy one for those who've grown old. That's why it's mostly been younger folk who've been leaving for Tiral, ones with no elders to care for. Wook, word of that problem has reached us in Tuliholal. My brother is doing all he can to see the Shaktiral Railroad restored to operation, so that people may come and go more freely. But the tracks only go as far as Vanguard, so some traveling by foot will still be necessary. Even so, a railroad will make things a slight easier. How long before it's back in service? I couldn't say. When I left for this visit, Kona seemed reluctant to make promises. That seems like a very... I don't know, that feels like a very smart thing to do, and a very engineer thing to do. But while Shale's working on the data, we could go see the state of it for ourselves. Alright, more train time. Vow of Resolve and Kakushu to boot. What can I do for you? Hello, Wowlika. We're hoping for some good news about the railroad. There's an increasing number of people looking to return to Tiral that can't make the journey on foot. I see. As it happens, the Vow of Reason is also on his way here. Oh, good. Oh, he's actually here. Okay. Oh. Looking good, Aaronville. New duds. Oh, literally looking good. I mean, even though I personally said looking good, Aaronville, what I wish I had say was gasp. Did our little Bun finally outgrow his old clothes? Stop that. As you well know, my previous attire was that of a gleaner, and I have chosen a different path. It was time for a change. Beastmaster? Are you a Beastmaster now? No, we don't. There's no news on that yet, is there? You're here about the railroad too? It was in part for my sake that the original Dawnblazer was sacrificed, so I felt it only right that I assist with its replacement. Speaking of which... I assume Lamati here has explained the growing urgency of the need. What have you to report? The new locomotive was on track for completion, but we're having difficulty pulling her into the station, in a manner of speaking. You see, when we used the Dawnblazer to get into the dome, urgency outweighed all other considerations, and now we're back to our original problem. How to run the railroad without upsetting the inhabitants of Hhetson. That is the Ronik. Though the Hetsaro that follow them are none too pleased about the Hhetso being so spooked by the noise of the locomotive either. The solution I've devised to quieten the railroad should address that complaint. Quieten? Is that just a typo? I'm googling this. Is that just a typo, or is there an actual word quieten? It's apparently it's a British term to make quiet. Okay. Apparently it actually is a word. It's just not one I'd used before or seen before. But a silent train presents a different danger. The Ronik will need to be deterred from wandering across the tracks. I didn't even think of that. Good catch. Nidawikwe. And I suppose we can't just blow the whistle at them, or they'll panic and be put off their grazing again. Weren't the railroads plotted to avoid the Ronik's preferred grazing areas, though? Yeah, but those change, don't they? It's odd they're getting so close in the first place. The Ronik's grazing patterns have shifted since the tracks were laid. I'm not certain why, but I intend to ask the people of Hhetson for their insight. As a major proponent of the railroad, I have a duty to assist in this matter, and I too would hear what the Hetsaro have to say about it. They are the ones most affected, after all. I believe it would be best to begin by consulting their leader, Hwato. The rest of you can accompany us to the Hhetso encampment if you like. Vow of resolve, vow of reason. I bid you welcome to our camp. But what brings you all the way to Mawa Hhetso? I thank you for seeing us. Our visit concerns the matter of the Shaktaral Railroad. You two have noted the Ronik's unexpected change in behavior, then. My son, Geppetto, that's your name, has been looking into this matter. Geppetto? Normally, we expect the Ronik to keep to their favorite grounds nearby for a while yet. Despite a thorough search, we haven't found anything wrong with the quality or quantity of the grazing in Pyarionan and Yautanane. Yet they refuse to keep to where they usually would, instead pushing westward toward your railroad. I certainly see no cause for this unseasonal migration. Nevertheless, should they continue to move west, we will follow. As any true Hhetso would, I suppose. And as you may have surmised, I am of Hhetso descent. My parents traveled with the Ronik as well, though I have no memory of the experience. I was left behind as a babe, you see, during such a migration. One of many sacrifices necessitated by a nomadic lifestyle, I am forced to assume. We're going to get more detail about his, is that what this rest of 7.1 is going to dive into? His background? A chance encounter with a kind Pelu merchant was the only reason I survived. Taking pity on me, he taught me his trade that I might fend for myself. I became a stall keeper in Tuliholos markets, and that's where the Dawn servant found and adopted me. I had already been in the palace some time when Lamati came to join us. Like me, she had been cast aside by her parents. I knew the pain of solitude and wanted to spare her that suffering. As this tiny child's new brother, I swore I would always be there for her. Truly, I've never heard of Ronik choosing a path so arduous as to force such a terrible decision. Yeah, that doesn't sound like, that's some 300 shit. Like, that doesn't sound like something that would be something done in the normal course of a nomadic lifestyle. Nor of any Hhetso willingly leaving their own flesh and blood behind. There must have been some exceptional circumstances. I cannot say. The idea of following in their footsteps that I might better make excuses for their actions never much appealed to me. But if they had a good reason, would you want to know? No, I don't want to say number one. Number two at least has relevant to the current situation, even if it might help you better understand the Ronik's current behavior. I mean, I don't know that there's any tie there. Of course there is, but that's not a connection I would have remotely made if this weren't an MSQ thing. As is so often the case, you're correct. Though my discomfort with the Hhetso way may arise from fear of reopening old wounds rather than blind fervor for innovation, it would nevertheless see me repeat past mistakes. And to refuse to learn one of our country's treasured traditions would make me a poor Dawn servant indeed. He is... I know it's not a surprise or anything, but he is very, very self-aware, isn't he? Please, teach me of the Ronik and what they mean to you. I promise to listen with an open mind. We'd be delighted. In the meantime, your companions are welcome to look around. Will you learn of Hhetso culture with me? I should like to approach this with the fervent curiosity that you and my sister share, but it would be useful to know whether I am, doing it correctly. Then it's settled. You'll learn more of the Ronik and we'll have a look around the plains, and perhaps in the process we'll find the answers we seek. Nod nod, self-wave, shrug of the hands. The quickest way to learn about our life is to do as we do. I hope you're not above manual labor. No, my Dark Knight self might be over it, my esteem, but I'm okay with it. Though I'm not the most experienced, I'm ashamed to admit, I shall put forth every effort. That's all we ask. Take these tools. Now introduce yourself to anyone who looks busy and ask if you can help. They'll be happy to teach you what to do in exchange for another pair of hands to do it. Sometimes it can be more trouble to teach someone, especially a very temporary worker, than it is to just do it yourself. But that's not the case here. Playful Hhetso. You're learning about the Hhetso way of life, are you? I may have a thing or two to share, but rather than talking your ear off, let me test your powers of deduction. I find answers easier to recall later if I arrived at them myself. I agree. Our Hhetso provide us with something that we use in medicines, poultices, and soap to drive away pests and to sustain our fires. What is it? Is it dung again? It is. Oh my gosh, yeah. Is this something real? I guess it is. It sounds like there's a story there, but that's indeed the correct answer. We've discovered myriad uses for Ronik chips over time, each a boon to our way of life. Where there's a need, our Hhetso always provide. I didn't know that dung would be used in medicine. Medicine I'm a little surprised by because it's literal waste. But soap too? I didn't know dung could be used like that. Talkative Hhetso. I'm afraid I finished with my tasks for the time being, but since you're so eager to learn about our way of life, why don't I tell you a bit about our migration customs? If you're here, you likely already know that the Ronik are our Hhetso, our guides, that we travel... Oh! That's why they're the Hhetso, because they're like the guided, I'm guessing. That we travel through the turning of the seasons. We trust them to lead us to fertile lands with all we need to survive. But you may not know that sometimes the herd splits into two, bound for different paths. On those occasions, we Hhetso must also part with half our number. You might think it a strange and stressful custom, but over the years, it's seen us visit new lands and broaden our horizons as a people. This too is the wisdom of the Hhetso. That's really cool. It makes a lot of sense, and it makes a lot of sense how there's actual value in it, but that's got to be a stressful time. Like deciding who goes where. Troubled Hhetso. This won't do. The wind will go right through it, and with me without my needle and sinew. Here is a mending kit, a box containing bone needles, sinew, scraps of hide, and other helpful mending accoutrements. Oh, these are precisely what I needed. I should be able to patch up the covering now. Given how often we pack and reassemble our tents, they're bound to get the occasional tear. Fortunately, the Ronik hide they're made of is durable enough that we generally needn't worry. Yeah, you're using every part of the Ronik. The dung, the hooves, the bones, the fur, the whole deal. As you stroke the Ronik's coat, you note that many portions are shaggy and tangled. This one's fur is fond Hhetso. This one's fur is a bit overgrown, but a good brushing should thin it out. Want to give it a try? You'll need the right tool for the job, mind you. A comb for the type you're used to would just get lost in the tangle like as not. Here is a fur brush, a sturdy brush suitable for grooming even the fluffiest of Ronik. Look at its eyes, they're so like human. Like this Ronik looks like a Bloodborne like enemy. Ah, Geppetto found a Ronik brush sent a Ronik brush with you, did he? How like him. Now just run it through one little patch at a time, gently. Yeah, you don't want it to get matted, but you also don't want it to be upset or in pain. A little happy shake. You dutifully brush the Ronik until your arms grow weary from the prolonged battle with its coat. It appears much tidier now, though the same can be said for your clothes, which have acquired a new coat of their own. That's how it goes. Well done. With less excess fur, our friend here will be more comfortable in the afternoon heat and less susceptible to illness. A combed coat also makes it easier to identify injuries should the need arise. We have investigated the ruffled Ronek, and we're ready to move on. You smell of grass and the wind, which is a good thing, I promise. You could nearly be mistaken for one of us, if a bit on the short side. Hey, I have to wonder how Valkona is getting on. I assumed he would be reluctant to get his hands dirty, but seems his wish to understand us was sincere. Yeah, I mean, he looks like that, but that's, like, I don't think he remotely is. Welcome back, and you brought a Ronek friend. Apologies for my tardiness. I was tasked with grazing the Ronek, and ended up rather far afield. I found myself wandering hither and thither at my companion's inclination. To force us back to the trail seemed inappropriate. Good job. Alright, what will I say? Hetsaro life revolves around the Ronek, but in turn the people receive all they need. Or the Ronek are treasured members of this community as important as family. The first one is the more important one for this one, but I guess they both work. Yes, I feel the truth of this myself. While I was hesitant to leave my fate to the whims of the Hhetso rather than to tread man-made paths, I arrived where I was meant to be all the same. Mine is not the only way, though at times I lack the experience to know otherwise. My inability to conceive of how a decision might be right does not mean it is wrong. This is not just a man of intellect, this is a man of wisdom. And I really do think he's grown from the whole expansion, because this is not, I don't know if this is an answer he would have given like 10 levels ago. My parents had a duty to the Ronek as they did to me, and so I wonder if their leaving me behind was not so selfish an act as I once believed. I mean, the thing is, I hope he's right. I don't know if I hope he's right. I mean, if he were a real person, I would hope he's right, but for storytelling reasons, I don't know. There are absolutely people who, like, just... like, they don't want their pet anymore, and so they put it in a bag and, like, leave it by the side of the road. Like, there are people who just suck. I have no way to know, of course, and regardless, this has no bearing on our present concerns. We are here in the service of the people of Teral, after all. Nevertheless, I thank you for helping me find deeper meaning in what we've done today, and I will endeavor to remain curious, especially where the Hhetso are concerned. I'm glad to hear that, Valkona. You're welcome among our herd any time. And now, let us butcher this delightful animal for some roast Ronek to increase our spell speed. You're looking delicious over there. The warmth of family. Kona appears loath to part from his Ronek companion. Its face is so friggin' cute. Kona, how did it go? I don't know if cute is actually the right word. It's like, again, it's so human. It has the wisdom of the ages to share, which I guess the Hetsaro actually believe. I believe I finally understand the significance of the Hhetso. They nourish the Hetsaro as they grow, provide warmth and companionship in a harsh and unpredictable world. They are the equal of any man, not beasts to be tamed. Moreover, they are sensitive. Though we may treat their injuries or brush their coats to keep them hale, they must ever be free to follow their instincts and seek lands where they might thrive. Excuse me. I was going to say, they're not really building up to him justifying what his biological parents did by saying maybe they just wanted to see me thrive, and so they tossed me into the... No, they're not going to do that. The Hhetso would never cage them, and neither should we. To control their migratory patterns or capture those who wander too close to the tracks is out of the question. And it is particularly important to advance... I'll be right back. Fortunately, we were able to visit the Ronik's once favored grazing grounds. As we were told, the grass looks fine, but the place is too quiet. It's not just the Ronik. Even the birds and field mice have fled. We did encounter one pack of Ceratoraptors, but they look to have been passing through in a hurry. Typically, this sort of behavior in the fauna would be associated with natural disasters, earthquakes, landslides, and the like. Though the Hhetso would surely have put two and two together whether the cause geological, I measured the area's ether to be certain. There was nothing, because that's what I was thinking at first, like, is this the sign of another calamity? But storytelling-wise, I'd be shocked if they did that again. There was nothing to indicate, or nothing indeed to suggest recent environmental disruption, but I did notice one anomaly. A strong etheric signature to the east, moving across the plain, albeit slowly. A strong etheric signature. Yeah, what do you think, Kona? Given where we are, I believe we are dealing with a powerful beast. A predator, perhaps, given the local fauna's behavior. One of the raptors we saw looked like it had a bite taken out of its tail by something with very large fangs. It couldn't be a... Hhetso? Hhetso. Rotnik Reaver in the common tongue. Our people have several names for such creatures. Fangs that steal Hhetso in the night is another evocative one. Rotnik can fend off many predators with their horns, but not the Hhetso. Their scales are tough as adamant, and neither horn nor arrow can pierce them. Like a dragon? Like that sort of thing? Well, no, it could be any scaled beast. A well-toothed carnivore with an unusually tough hide. I cannot recall any such fauna in this region. They usually roam the wilds in the northeast, and most herds keep well clear of them. I can't tell you why this one is so far from a home and pack. In any case, I believe the source of the Ronik's consternation is clear, as is our next move. We must drive this reaver away, that they might return to their grazing lands in peace. Little shake. Never fear. We will make certain that the beast threatens you no more. So is this going to be something we kill, something we befriend, or something altogether different? Or if, we can't go running off in search of it without having made proper preparations. And if others returning from across the plain have spotted it, they may be able to inform us of its recent behavior and where it might be found. So this is going to be a battle. Here we go. So much for befriending it. Well, we could still, like, defeat it and then befriend it at the end and find out it's really a transformed Lalafell or something.
Help! Help! Hhetso is coming this way! It has beasts across the plains in a panic, and our Ronek are practically paralyzed with fear. We must get them to safety.
We can assist by helping to calm the creatures. Once they're less agitated, it should be possible to hurt them.
And after they're out of harm's way, we'll deal with the Ronek Reaver.
I suggest you remain here to attend to the Ronek when they arrive. They'll be safe with me. Please, be careful out there.
So,
Make haste. We must protect the Ronek.
Don't worry, we're right behind you.
where are we... Oh, I can't move yet. Okay. We must pray the Hhetso are all right. What are we... Yeah, so... I don't know what this is going to look like. Is it going to be like an alligator or something else? What if the tour Hhetso get to them? I think I see the herd over there.
They're terrified. We must do what we can to soothe them.
Oh yes, even amidst the battle, we have to pet the Ronek. I love it. Something about seeing such marks. I don't see any marks on them, but it might just not be drawn. Snuffle. All right, goodbye, friends. Stay fluffy.
That herd should be all right. Let's look for stragglers. The Ronek are to rally too. None shall be left behind.
There's someone coming. There's a bunch of them. I see some pterodactyls behind them.
There must be something up ahead. Come.
Are the pterodactyls the predators?
There.
Yes.
No match for the likes of us.
Yeah. I don't think these are the predators they're talking about. I mean, they are looking awful predatory. But even so. Especially because Wuka's like, oh, these are not a problem. Of course, she'd say that about pretty much anything. And there's some Ceratoraptors. Yeah, I think these are just...
Clearly an understatement.
Yeah, these are some of the beasts that are like in a panic because of the thing, I think. Alpha alligator. This is more what I was expecting, but even this is a little bit smaller. We'll get some actual, just regular old alligators here, too. Critical bite. How did we stop that?
All or nothing, then.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to solo these down. Someone's doing a limit break. Nice job, Kona. Or some big attack. Good job, Kona.
It seems that did the trick.
Off they go, but was that it?
For the fodder, at least. But where's...
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it was still a pretty normal-sized animal, not the legendary beast they seem to be talking about. A normal-sized animal for 14. If I saw that in real life, I would die of terror. It's a dinosaur. It's a friggin' dinosaur.
We've got a big one coming.
With crystals coming out of its head?
Impenetrable scales and wicked fangs. That's a Ronek Reaver, and no mistake.
There! That one there!
Yeah, it doesn't seem to care.
Not so fast!
Yeah, I don't know what you were expecting to happen right there. I appreciate the care you have for it. I guess maybe that's what he was expecting to happen. Because it attacked him and didn't keep charging and eat its Ronek snack.
Even should it cost me my life. I will save the Hhetso!
Yeah, she might have some competition for the vow of resolve at this point.
Kona, are you all right?
Do not concern yourself with me. Get the Ronek to safety.
And I get why this is so important to him. I do see that. I mean, they've building up to that with the story, his thoughts about the past,
You've nothing to fear.
his connection with the people. You've nothing to fear is the Titanic dinosaurs right there, but he's wounded. He's like limping away, the poor little buffalo.
Right. Let's finish the job.
I made a vow to our people. You shall plague them no longer!
Good guy Kona. Resolved guy Kona. Tour Hhetso. Alright. Let's do this.
You'll find the vow of reason is not without resolve.
That's what I've been saying.
Damn it! Not even a scratch.
Oh yeah, its health is barely going down. This is a gimmick fight.
Buy me some time to think, will you? It must have a weakness, and I will find it.
What's its buff? Adamant scales, protected by a nigh impenetrable hide. An adamant hide at that.
Keep it busy. I need time.
Right. Go for the legs.
Oh, scale armored leg. Okay. Yeah, this one is, we can damage this at least a little bit. Attack through Hhetso's legs. We got these splitting off, yeah. Alright, so one, we got the legs down. We broke through the scales on the legs.
To keep it pinned. You're thinking, Kona.
Oh, you're lassoing it. Now we see actual T-Rex arms.
A protective current of ether. But
The
whence
hell?
does it flow?
Did this wander in from like another reflection or something? I wonder if this is going to tie back to the key. This is our best chance.
One well-placed
Okay.
piercing round to the chest and
By the power of sniper rifle.
you're done for.
So now it's vulnerable to.
Stem the flow of protective ether.
Yeah, so it wasn't just physical then. It wasn't just the adamant that was doing it. Now it's just.
Stopping us now.
Huh. Yeah, again, it's the same sort of thing, just going in clockwise going in a little order to avoid the stuff. Firestorm, same thing here, I think. Incandescent ray. Look at them moving to me. That's new AI, I think. In the past, they would just go to one place, and yeah, in the past they would just go to a single location, and I would have to make sure to get to them. But no, they're going to me. Ether call. What is ether call? Yeah, so it can definitely manipulate
we must
ether.
disperse that ether ere the reaver recovers it.
Oh, so we pop it. Pop the bubbles.
This is going to hurt.
Ah, get to it. You have to be careful of my damage, though, because oh, wow, I'm getting a lot of damage buff, so that's why it's going down so quickly now. Okay.
We did it. The Hhetso, are they?
I think they're good.
The Ronek have all made it to Mehwa Hhetsuan. Hunters are scouring the area for any remaining threats, but the local fauna appear to have calmed down.
That Wook smile.
We cannot thank you enough for your timely aid. You, most of all, Bow of Reason. We feared you would be loath to take direct action, yet you didn't hesitate to put your life on the line for our Hhetso.
Sure as hell didn't.
I did no more than is a Dawn servant's duty.
Pushes up glasses. You did a lot more than the Dawn Servant's duty right there.
The ethereal conductivity of those scales is astounding. I dare say we could repurpose them to create a device that emits controlled pulses of ether.
Why?
Ether resembling that of the predator the Ronek fear most.
Oh, so you could drive them away from your area kind of more naturally that way?
It might work. If we struck the right balance, we would have the means to deter the Ronek from approaching the railroad without causing them undue distress.
Yeah, like warding them away with like pheromones, like that sort of thing. That's a really smart idea.
Kona, you've done it again.
I must say, I was hoping I'd never have to see one of these again.
So these aren't necessarily from another reflection. These are just natural but rare, like super predators.
Still haven't forgotten the last one. And it's been more than 20 years now.
So that's also possible. Like, what if most of his family was like gored and wrecked by one of these things, and he was just the lone survivor, and everyone assumed he was dead?
I had come as a trader to the camp in Lozeni Hetta. A camp that was obliterated in an instant by that monster.
Yeah, that's where he was born. That's where he was found.
Lozeni Hetta. That's where the Pelu trader found me as a babe. Please, can you tell me what you saw? As I said, I had traveled there to trade with our fellow Hhetzaro. Like us, they followed the Ronek. And like us, they were visited by a reaver. The fiend struck like a whirlwind in the night. It was chaos. I grabbed some token belongings and bolted in a panic, thinking only of getting as far away as possible. But even in my panicked state, I could not help but notice the young couple racing the other way, toward the fell creature. Well distracted, I heard one cry. Save our son! Save the Hhetso!
You didn't make this connection until now, Hhetzaro trader?
After that, nothing but the pounding of my heart and feet and Ronek thunder. I ran and ran. And as the sun broke the horizon, I found myself separated from both man and beast. Windborne words say that a group of survivors reunited with their remaining Ronek and have long since moved on. But still more were never seen again, including the brave couple. Or so the story goes. And what became of their child?
He broke his glasses.
I'm afraid I don't know. But if he wasn't with the survivors, even if he lived through that night, the wilderness wouldn't have been kind to the little one out on his lonesome.
Hhetso Trader. My guy, my bro.
Maybe not. But perhaps a passing Pelu would. And one day, even a Dawn servant himself.
Le gasp.
All these years, I was convinced that my parents had left me behind to follow after the Ronek.
In hindsight, it really doesn't seem like them at all, does it?
But now I see, they didn't abandon me. They were trying to keep me safe.
I mean, it's kind of a variant on the Kryl answer, isn't it?
I've wasted so much time resenting them, when in truth, they gave me everything I have today.
And like, I was not adopted. I'm a little bit annoyed at it because it feels like there's a broader experience of relationships between adopted kids and so again, forgive me, this is from an outsider's perspective entirely. It feels like there's a broader perspective of potential relationships and desired relationships between adopted kids and biological parents who they never met. And they're doing the same kind of relationship twice. Excuse me, sneezing. Which feels a little bit like a wasted opportunity. I'm happy for him. I think he could have done something different.
That I live to know the warmth of family, even after they were gone.
It is different in that he doesn't get to see them afterwards, unlike Kryl.
And now that I am Dawn servant, all of Gulool is my family. A family I will always protect, as my parents protected me.
And again, I can absolutely appreciate it. I'm just a bit surprised they went that route again. And I'm happy for him. To know the Hhetso are safe was more than enough, yet would it be wrong to hope that in protecting them we also avenged my parents? I mean, read some Moby Dick. I don't know that you can get really revenge against a beast like that. It's the least I owe to them after all this time. Kokushu, I thank you for standing by me, as Dawn servant and as the often perfect man beneath that mantle. Now let us return our attentions to the matter we came here to address, shall we? We've removed the root cause of the Ronek straying from their favored grazing and obtained the tools to devise an additional precautionary measure, a silent whistle, as it were. This whistle must be capable of emitting pulses of ether strong enough that they will shy away from the tracks on instinct, yet not so strong as to drive them into a panic. If we can achieve this, it will be a far sight better than the traditional whistle, more effective and less stressful for the creatures in themselves. Yeah, you got the thumbs up from Kokushu. Let us return to Shaloni Station to begin work on it. Walika and his crew will be doubtless relieved to finally have a solution. Well, we got good news for you. Even as I, again, continue to massively violate personal space. So the Ronek were avoiding a predator. Smart ones they are. And Valkona's not too bad himself, what with the whistle idea. Sit tight. We'll have this train on the tracks before you know it. Sit tight? Yes. That's a great prompt.
We're ready to go.
Whoa! She looks as good as new.
She does look pretty sweet.
If I had time to do a proper job, could have really made her shine. Had to cobble together the exterior with spare parts. We refurbished the interior, though. Not that you can appreciate it from out here.
I believe you.
But as far as the Ronek are concerned, we've spared no effort. From the ballast to the ties, we've adjusted every bit of the track so she'll run quiet as a field mouse.
You and your crew have worked wonders. Our nation is in your debt.
Come now. If anything, credit's due to Tuliolal. It's thanks to the folk you recruited from every corner of the continent that we were able to get her up and running so quickly.
I remember that cutscene. Oh,
Besides,
one of the weirder
ethereal
cutscenes.
whistle's the true marvel, and we wouldn't have that without the scales you brought us. However grateful you are, know that we're even more thankful.
Right. If we're done talking, let's put this train through her paces.
You're the pilot, right? The engineer or the conductor? The driver? I don't remember what you call it for a train. Why do they have those jagged teeth at the front of a train? Like the things in front on the bottom left there. I've seen that before. Is that like in case there's like a log or something on the tracks, it'll doze it out of the way a little bit? Ronek?
There's a Ronek up ahead.
Now, to test our whistle.
Oh, okay. I thought the whistle was kind of already going.
On it. Just point it in the general direction and...
Nope. Yeah, the Ronek just starts hearing
moving
quiet
away.
boss music.
Meanwhile, our friends over there appear wholly unperturbed.
That is a great job. It's way narrow. I was expecting it to be more like an electric fence, but this is really like a precision targeted one-by-one type thing.
With this, we can alert those who wander too close without disturbing the rest of the herd.
a roaring success! In a quiet way, like. Then with your permission, Vow of Reason, the Hhetso-friendly Railroad is back in service.
The trolley issue has been resolved once more. For a while there, we were real worried we'd never get the railroad running again. But now that the test drive was such a success, we can breathe easy and start hauling people to and from the dome. First Shaloni, then the continent. Watch out, Hhetso-friendly, here we come. I share the sentiment, but I got a whole mountain of work ahead of us to ensure smooth operations. Time to get back to it. Yeah, the trolley crew has done a great job here. The efforts of all here today have not gone unnoticed. Once more, I thank you. As for our own work, I trust you can handle matters in Alexandria, Lamachi? Bup. Now, I don't know how many more quests are left in the patch. Oh no, this is going to be the last one, because I know the patch is Crossroads. I have to break for now, but I'll be back and we'll continue this video. We'll go a little bit long. Crossroads. Never one to stand still, Gulool Ja is ready to race back to Alexandria. Well, it's possible that Shale's made some headway by now. And regardless, we should spread word that the railroad's been restored to service. Shale? What do you have her working on? Gulool Ja's mother. I'd feel the same in his shoes. Have felt the same. Some questions are painful to leave unanswered. There's no cause to look at me like that. The Kafkiwa may have only been a simulacrum, but her memory was real. We needn't... Look at that little Kafkiwa... When did he pick that up? He has got a little Kafkiwa, like, backpack thingy on his backpack. And because she left it, I needn't search for what she left behind because she left it with me, and I will carry it always. Yeah, okay, there we go. We're talking, I don't know if it's a keychain or what that is. Speaking of things you're carrying, is that a teeny tiny Kafkiwa? What? No. It is merely a token from Alexandria. Our friends in Oblivion would not take no for an answer, and I thought it as good a souvenir as any. Whatever you say. For what it's worth, I think it's a nice way to bring her with you on your travels. That's adorable. I mean, I don't know that I would do that. Like, it's... No, I think that's okay. Yes, well, we're off to the dome now. You're off to the dome now, aren't you? I thought I might join you for a time. See if there is aught I can do for the people there. Much changed though it is, I still consider it my home. Of course, we can give you the full story on the way. On the way to the Crossroads. Simple yet elegant solution, and thus is the railroad back in operation. Meanwhile, Shale has nearly finished processing the data. She will be able to share her findings with us imminently. Hey, Htetl, long time no see. I'm interrupting something, I gather. You are never in... Well, yeah, you are interrupting, but you're always welcome. Why, Htetl, what brings you here? I've seen enough of the Gate of the Sky Deep Cenote for now, so I'm shifting my investigation to living memory. While there, I thought I would do well to have the company of an expert on electrope. Shale, I'd like to take a closer look at the place myself. I can join you once we've finished here. Lest you fear I've forgotten. Once I've made headway with living memory, the key in your keeping shall be the next subject of my scrutiny. I mean, I look forward to it. It's got to open up all kinds of possibilities. You're going to unlock it all.
There was a mountain of data to sift through, much of it tantalizing, I admit. But it will take time to fully decrypt everything that piques my interest, so to answer our immediate question, I've been concentrating my efforts on the audio saved by Teeshal Ja herself.
Teeshal Ja. And I like how so much of this sets up a wild amount of possibilities for the future. The key, it's like, that's what we're doing for now. But in the future, we might open every friggin' reflection. For this, like, for now, this is what we have here. But in the future, who knows what information other zones and whatever it'll uncover.
While I've not listened to it yet, I have a selection ready for playback. Would you like to hear it now?
Yes, please.
All right. Several audio files will now play in sequence.
Ensure you have enough time to view the subsequent audio files. We recommend removing yourself from any duty roulettes that you're already in, Gulool Ja.
My name is Teeshal Ja, and I decided to record this to To help me put my thoughts in order, I suppose.
Mother?
Officially I am. Was a Virgin with the Lance Guard. I was part of a contingent dispatched to Yasulani to hunt a Tural Vidral that was wreaking havoc. After our mission was complete, I elected to remain. It was the perfect opportunity to document the geographic distribution of medicinal herbs in this region. Or so I said when requesting special dispensation. In truth, I could not bear to return to Turyolal.
Really?
I had hoped to aid Commander Zoral Ja in the right of succession, but he did not so much as look my way. I was never in contention, of course, one of the nameless many in his army. To go back and face that reality was too much for me, so I ran, and in my cowardice, I stumbled upon this path.
Oh, sorry. A path that changed my life.
When the dome appeared, I found myself trapped within, and reunited with my commander.
So it really was a one-sided attraction at that point.
How am I to speak of Commander Zoral Ja? I admired him. His incontestable strength, his unwavering focus. He was a man of great passions.
And I'm not surprised that he would be attractive, that anyone under his command or like around him would see his, like, there's a lot there that has that, I'm sure, that can be attractive, that like the dedication, the focus, all that sort of stuff. And just the raw skill, the drive.
I watched him, captivated by his intensity. From afar, I would not dare approach. And in watching, I came to know him.
Did you?
His eyes too sought the distance, but not as mine did. He yearned not for another, but something else, beyond the horizon.
Never mind, I guess you did know him pretty well.
That gaze would never fall upon me. I knew. I knew. The experiment will soon proceed to its next phase, and when it does, as he promised, I will have my heart's desire.
Do you really want him like that? Like under those circumstances where he's just trading it for you to keep sciencing?
Today. It should have been today. The beginning. What I have dreamed of for so long. I hold a future in my arms. If he could see him, embrace him, surely that would be enough.
So this is taking place after the birth.
So full of hope I was. A foolish hope.
I love the staticky quality here.
Are blue.
It's. Not his, it's.
He's your son.
My... No, I can't. I don't know how. How could I? How? To raise a child, be a father. I don't. I can't. No. Get it
Away from me.
That it again.
Get that thing away from me!
The pronouns matter.
It's all right, little one. Papa was just surprised. That's all.
There's ways to respond when you're surprised, and that wasn't just surprise, and as of course we know. And for all I was saying how, I mean, we were talking about biological parents, different responses to kids. This is one of them.
He'll come around. We'll be a happy family.
No doubt.
Kaniloka's shouting for me. The research hasn't been going well, but I can't let him take it out on my baby. Hush now, little one. I know just where to hide you.
Poor Gulool Ja, good lord.
That's all of them.
He was abandoned, the poor dear. We found him in the drift downs a few years ago.
We know some manner of accident happened at the facility after this was recorded. Perhaps your mother couldn't come back for you.
Because she clearly cared for him. She clearly loved him.
Hey, Gulool Ja.
I'm fine, Lamachi. Father and mother, they were both so lonely.
Maybe Gulool Ja will be a good leader, because that is one hell of a wise response to everything you just heard.
If we could have been together, maybe they wouldn't have been. But sometimes things don't work out, no matter how hard you try.
He doesn't just have a large head on his shoulders, he got a good head on his shoulders. Does he have shoulders? He probably does.
I can't tell if I'm happier now. But it's better to know, I think. Thank you, everyone.
Like, that is an incredibly balanced response. Incredibly, like, balanced, insightful, a stable response. That's a boy. I am intensely impressed with Gulool Ja here. Because it doesn't feel like this is... I don't know, it doesn't feel like this is a kid who's being written as if he's 55, like some kids are. It feels like he's trying to understand it, and he's in pain, but he's trying to understand it. He's doing an incredibly good job of understanding it, too. It's better to know. A profound response for one. So yeah, Y'shtola's in the same boat I am. Shale, though I wish he didn't have to be. Gulool Ja is indeed wise beyond his years. Yet one never outgrows the need for dependable companions. It's fortunate that he has you. Thank you, Shale. Because of you, I got to hear my mother's whole story. You heard it because you were brave enough to listen, Gulool Ja. If you remember one thing, remember that. The little happy dance. Now then, having shared what I can at present, I'm ready to head to living memory when you are. I'm planning to be thorough, so we will need to stop for supplies on the way. That said, I promise we won't remain over long. I know we all have much more to attend to. For now, farewell. Bye, Y'shtola. Seeing Y'shtola reminds me I have to learn Black Mage. I want to level up Black Mage pretty soon from 90 to 100, and I have no memory of how to play that job. Geode, a word before you leave. Our network's already spreading word of the railroad. We expected people would be clamoring to get on the first train back, yet the reaction's been the polar opposite. Scant few seem inclined to depart Alexandria anytime soon. What? When you spoke before, you said many from Tulikyola were eager to reunite with friends and family. Maybe they're concerned about getting through Vanguard? If so, we can take turns accompanying them. I don't know, they've built up homes here. They've built up lives here for the last 30 years. And I imagine life is far easier here, but I don't think that's the key. In any case, we need to speak with people ourselves. Let's start at lane node 9. I'll bet it's, I mean, those are the two main reasons that jump out to me. Like, again, you have a very, very modern and futuristic world by our standards here versus a much earlier style of living before, where things are much just tougher overall, less automated, and look at those friggin' Yans. We've never actually seen, remind me, have we seen a Yan, like one of those things in Final Fantasy XIV? If we did, it would be a raid boss. And of course, no spoilers, because I haven't done the raid yet, so because maybe that comes up in Arcadian. There may still be people gathering in Praxis Park. Let's try there first.
People look uneasy. Did something happen?
Have you heard? Someone was killed in the Thunder Yards.
The Thunder Yards was one of the hunters slain by a beast.
It was a hunter, all right, and a veteran at that. But it was no fiend that did him in. Only a random bolt of lightning.
They're all, like, experiencing existential crises and dealing with consequences, like life or death consequences for the first time. God, that's so much.
Such a senseless way to die. They say that he expended his last soul cells during Gulool Ja's attack on the city.
For an upright, hard-working man to meet such an unceremonious end, it feels wrong.
But we'll be fine, won't we? Even if the system no longer erases our memory of the departed, the regulators continue to function. I shan't go before my time. Growing old and passing peacefully with the help of the ushers is only natural.
Well, you may think so, but how are we to know? We have no memory of those who have gone. More may have met violent deaths than passed from old age, and we would be blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
It could happen to you, or me, to any of us.
Then what are we to do? Spend every waking moment thinking only of how we might die?
With time, I had hoped that they'd be able to adjust to their new situation. But it's only gotten worse.
Well, I mean, it takes more than a couple of days, Wook. Like, give it like years. This is a major change in their lives.
Look, it's Queen Sphene.
What? Did someone make Sphene bot 2000 or something?
What?
The robots can do a lot, so I'm guessing this is something like that, like a bad recreation.
Help, Queen Sphene. The grown-ups are really upset, and I don't know what to do.
I see that you are as kind-hearted as ever, Nico. Never fear. I'm here to set things aright.
Yeah?
I don't understand. Sphene is gone. Forever.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's this jerk face. He seems not at all surprised.
You were the Queen's aide, weren't you? What's the meaning of this?
Begging your pardon, Vow of Resolve.
But Her Majesty Queen Sphene is paying visit to her people, as is her wont.
I don't like you.
What are you talking about? Sphene is dead. You officiated the funeral yourself. We all placed flowers to mourn her passing.
The music is so disconcerting right here.
A funeral? For Her Majesty?
He's being serious. He really doesn't remember this.
What a curious jest. You know full well that ceremony was to commemorate those lives lost during the attack of Alexandria.
Who's orchestrating this? So someone's messing with the regulators?
Her Majesty walks among her people that she might support them in this most trying of times. Surely that is not cause for consternation.
This is so uncomfortable.
Your Majesty, won't you free us from these terrible memories of the departed? This is no way to live, not for us, nor our children. I wish that I could. Truly I do. But with living memories shut down, even I cannot restore the system that once afforded us that comfort. You needn't fret, however. I have prepared an alternate solution.
What dystopian bullshit are we about to hear?
All of us shall be made endless.
There you go.
I have created a new system that allows you to transplant your memories directly into an ethereal vessel. One not reliant upon soul cells.
Transplant your memories directly into an ethereal vessel.
This way, you need never again fear death. You may live as you please, and for as long as you like. Our stores of ether are, at present, not sufficient to provide this boon to everyone. But some of you received neo-regulators for the funeral ceremony, did you not?
The black ones?
And there are still more we have yet to distribute. 5,000 in all.
Oh, this is some Heaven's Gate nonsense right here. This is really creepy.
One day soon, those with neo-regulators will be called to join the Endless, and thence be free of suffering forevermore.
Oh.
But only 5,000 of us?
Maybe that's just a start?
You Victral! The real Sphene would never be content to save only some of her people.
I didn't even pick up on that, but yes, Wook.
Who are you?
This feels very much like, what was the 5.3?
I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Like the 5.3, not 5.3, whatever the patch was where, probably 5.1 or 2, where Elidibus like comes in as the warrior of darkness, promising joy and like answering everyone's prayers. So I think you're an actual entity then, because that smile was evil as hell. Yeah, this is not the moment for whatever counterattack. We need to learn
Return
more.
to the back room. I need to calm down, and then we'll talk.
Who would it be though? Who? Because I doubt that it's just going to be some random new person. It could be though. It absolutely could be. But I don't think it is. My guess is this will be someone we know, but it's someone with power here to do stuff with the regulators. And I don't think it's Gosan. It could be No, I think this is like some kind of... I don't know if this is a doppelganger or something. Huh. Boy, that's unsettling. Boy, boy, boy. We only caught the proclamation from a distance, but I can tell you that the message about neo-regulators was received with utmost clarity. Alize, it couldn't have been Sphene. She should have been destroyed when the Meso terminal shut down. It's 100% not Sphene, at least. Alphino, without a single Alexandrian to bear witness. Presented with an identical figure claiming to be their beloved queen, 'tis no surprise they would choose to believe she's alive. What's troubling, however, is their denial that the funeral was held in her honor. 'Tis as if their memories had been erased or altered. I mean, specifically altered. Or it could just be erased. Given that the memories of Oblivion remain unaffected, that was likely the work of the regulators, but by whose design? Someone smart enough to play at being the Queen of Reason. And that, guys, even if some suspect deception, most of Alexandria will be on her side. We need to find out who she really is. While I agree wholeheartedly, we should avoid drawing more attention than we already have. We must be patient until Oblivion's network turns up a lead, or until our self-proclaimed queen makes her next move. I don't blame Wook for her outburst. That's completely understandable. Sure. But yeah, it's an outburst you should restrain generally until next time, until we have more info. Until patch 4.2. Or 4.2, 7.2. Meanwhile, in living memory. Someone wobbling. Someone in bad shape.
Oh, where am I? My people? Are they safe?
Is this a bunch of different people? Is this... No, this is one person.
Why am I...
So someone who's not expecting to be Sphene. In Sphene's body. But who's still saying my people are they safe? Is this like the real Sphene? Like the memories of the real Sphene, not the copied version that we saw before? In fear of death, the people turn to Queen Reborn, their fates to learn. That's the best thing I can think of right now, is that somehow it's like what the actual Queen Sphene was like. Like somehow that version of her uploaded with knowledge enough to deceive. Because the Sphene we met was an idealized version. But now there's two Sphenes out there, two people out there, both worrying about my people. But the one who's saying, like, what happened to my people? Are my people safe? Wasn't someone who was expecting to look like Sphene, who was, like, shocked that they looked like that. I do not know. I do not know. Alright, that's going to be it for me for now. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your thoughts are. What are your theories? What are your predictions about this? I will call it for here, and we'll wrap up the MSQ for now. For next time, I will start on the Arcadian stuff. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.